to our final segment of CityLine. With me, I have three individuals who are excited to talk about the Tacoma Ocean Fest. So please join me in welcoming a very familiar name and face here in Tacoma. Rosemary Ponnekanti, you are in this seat as the director of Tacoma Ocean Fest.
That's correct.
You are, because you do so many things in Tacoma. It's unbelievable. From the music playing, the yoga, the aerial. Last time I saw you, you were jumping off some cliffs on Instagram. You never sit still, do you?
I try not to.
You try not to. I love that. And then next to you is Mr. Ken Campbell. You are an Ikatsu Project /surf writer. Welcome, my dear.
Thank you.
Good to have you here. And rounding out the couch is Miss Emily Pinckney. You are with Citizens for a Healthy Bay.
Yeah.
Of course you are. Welcome, my dear. We could not have an ocean fest without a healthy bay. And if we did, well, we would need to fix that, wouldn't we? Okay, so let's talk about this. Rosemary, what exactly is Ocean Fest? Because it's in its infancy.
It's brand new. This
Yeah.
is the first time it's ever happened. Basically, Tacoma Ocean Fest is a free one-day festival on June the 10th this year. It's held in time for World Ocean Weekend. And it's arts and sciences and water play, water sports, all coming together to celebrate the ocean and tell people about the threats that face it right now and inspire people to protect it. It's going to be held down at the Foss Waterway Seaport, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun.
Perfect place to put it down there. So let's talk about, I mean, what was the genesis of starting this? I mean, was it a long time coming? Was it suddenly one day you were down at the waterfront and went, what was it?
In a way, it was a long time coming. I grew up by the beach in Australia, so I love the ocean. And for the last few years, I've just been so horrified at all the problems that are facing it. You know, the plastic pollution, the overfishing, the chemicals that we pump into it, the the acidification that's killing coral reefs and things like that. And I thought, as most people do, well, what can one person do?
Right, one person.
Against all that. And this time last year, I happened to notice a grant application, and I thought, well, you know, I could, as one person, I could maybe organize people to be more aware of it and celebrate it and want to care about it. That's what I could do. And Tacoma Ocean Fest was born.
Oh my gosh, she's so modest, and it was born. And you wrote the grant and everything else.
Yeah.
Yes,
and
yes, you did.
With
Exactly.
so many other people.
So, okay, so walk me through that day. So first off, how do I get tickets? Is it free?
It's completely free.
Wonderful. Okay.
And to get there, I hope you will carpool or take public transport or ride
That's
your
right.
bike or something ocean friendly like that. When you get there, from 11 till 3 o'clock, there'll be all sorts of stuff inside the museum: art, sculpture, film, dance, music, whale skeletons, all ocean related. Plenty of fun stuff for kids, virtual reality, scuba virtual reality.
Nice.
But outside, and this is the really cool part, outside there'll be an esplanade full of booths from environmental groups, individuals like Ken, and other people showing what they do to help protect the ocean and how we can do it too.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so Ken, tell us, I'm walking up to your booth, and what are you going to say to me?
The first thing you're going to notice is a boat that I've made out of beach debris.
Okay.
A kayak that I made out of beach debris, and probably what my experience in making boats out of garbage is that I don't say much to you. You'll say the first thing. Typically, I don't.
What is that?
I don't have to start any conversations. Typically, when you make things like I do, so it's a good chance for me to talk about this. Came out the boat that I'm going to have there, and the boat that I'm going to use the next day in the race is a boat that I actually made out of beach debris. It's actually foam found on the beach here in Tacoma, actually. All of it came from Tacoma. So it's parts of people's docks that have washed up on the beach. I've kind of collected it and made a boat out of it.
So, is this what was it?
I have that same reaction.
Yeah, I mean, I want to ask about the structure and the time you put in, but I also want to go, at what point did you wake up and go, garbage equals boats?
Well, because we think of these things as a lot of times single use, especially single use plastics. 50% of all plastics is used in packaging, single use, boom, it's done, it's gone.
Okay.
And I mean, people don't really realize that. And I think that part of what I wanted to do, I don't want to be the guy starting that conversation, go, hey, you shouldn't have that water bottle, or hey, you shouldn't, because nobody likes that guy.
You're right.
But if you make a boat out of this stuff, you don't have to start any conversations. All those conversations are started for you, and it becomes kind of it becomes part of the conversation without having to say anything. So I think that's part of why I do that. The Akatsu Project, which is the organization that I run, is focused on marine debris and garbage in the ocean. So that makes sense from that perspective.
So this is just on the table here. It's just
That's a leftover chunk of the boat. Yeah, I didn't use that.
Of the
for
boat.
Yeah. That's going to be a business card holder, I think.
I love big paperweight. So Miss Emily,
Yeah.
you are with Citizens for a Healthy Bay. So tell us, what is your role out there on the Esplanade?
Yeah, so I'm a marine biologist. I do environmental justice education and outreach. And Citizens for Healthy Bay, we work to engage the community, get them out on the water. And Ocean Fest was a natural fit for me because I'm a marine biologist, but I've been a dancer since I was 2.
Oh my.
So yeah, and there's a real strong connection, I think, between science and the arts. For some people, they're not going to understand necessarily why we need to protect our environment or why we need to protect our oceans, but art is such a great opportunity for people to share their story and to actually show that perspective. So I'm really excited for Ocean Fest.
So that moves my next question for all of you, and that is, why would you want to combine arts and sciences and then water activities all in one festival?
From my perspective, and I'm a writer, as some people know, and a musician as well, but I care about the environment. And so to me, art and arts and music and dance have always been a window into exploring whatever it is you want to see. It's a different way of looking at something that galvanizes your imagination and your empathy. And that's what I wanted. I want people to care about the ocean, and that's a great way of doing it.
Absolutely. What about you, Ken?
I've always thought that everything is really just one thing. We compartmentalize things to understand them better. But the reality is that some people are going to form a connection with the environment through art. Some people are going to form a connection through science. And some people are going to form a connection through personal experience. The more you can do to facilitate all of them, the better off we will all be.
Absolutely. And Miss Emily?
Yeah, so for me, again, growing up as a dancer and then being really interested in marine biology, I never really thought I could connect those two worlds. But what I found is that through my art and through the art of our community, we can actually tell that story of the ocean, especially for people who may not understand or just don't get what's going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if people walk away with just one message, Emily and Ken, from this, what do you think it should be? Emily.
Yeah, I think for us what it will be is that the Tacoma community, we rely very heavily on our water systems, and we rely very heavily on Puget Sound. And Puget Sound is in everyone's backyard. I think this is going to be a very inclusive festival. It's been a really long time since we've had a festival like this, especially one that's free on the waterfront, right there where all of the boats are.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would like to get people to think about what they can do personally in their own lives to make a difference environmentally. And I realize that doesn't necessarily change the overall situation, what you do personally, but it changes your overall situation completely. And the more of that happens, the more aware that people are on an individual basis, eventually there's a tipping point. I hope that society itself will get to that level of awareness.
I hope so too. So, when you think about, again, as you said so well, how can one person just make a difference? And for those of us who are watching at home right now and thinking, well, Citizens for a Healthy Bay, they police, the bay. Why should I really care about an ocean? What should we say to them?
We all need the ocean for the fresh water that we drink. Because of evaporation in the water cycle, we need it for our food. We need it for the air we breathe. We all need it to survive as humanity.
Absolutely.
And therefore we all should care about it even from just at that perspective. But it's also a beautiful part of our planet and has so many amazing life forms in it that's in our hands.
Absolutely. What would you add to that?
I would say one of my personal heroes is Sylvia Earle, the diver Sylvia Earle, and her line that I always come back to is, water is the one non-negotiable thing on the planet.
Boy, is that ever good.
And that's it.
Water is the one non-negotiable thing on Earth.
Yep. So I just come back to that.
Absolutely. What about you, Miss Emily?
I feel like, especially in our community, it's become one of those things when surrounding water or the waterfront, it seems like a thing maybe only for the wealth. But I think in reality, what we need to understand, just like you were saying, like water is a human right, and it's something there for all of us. It's something for all of us to enjoy, something for all of us to live off of, but it's a resource that we all need to be a part of in the decision making and also in the celebration of it.
Absolutely. I mean, if you've done any kind of travel and gone to any other cities that have water in a port like we do, it's real evident the minute you get down on the waterfront what a city's priorities are. And I look at what we do here in Tacoma, and I'm very, very proud. Because compared to some of the other ones I've seen, it's like we are not, our ocean, our port is not an afterthought. And festivals like these, my dear, help educate those who are coming up, those little ones who perhaps think of it only as just recreation, but it really is in their hands, absolutely. Give us a website where we can get more information.
Yeah, TacomaOceanFest.org.
Okay, all right. And as we get close to it, what's the one thing you still need from our audience?
I need them to come.
Yes, there we go. Show up.
I need them to share it out on social media. We have a Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter channel.
Okay.
I need them to think about how they can protect the ocean even before they come. Be prepared with your reusable water bottle.
Okay, good.
You get to sign Ken's boat if you bring one. Yeah.
All right, good. Good to know.
Maybe get there by public transportation or riding your bike or something like that. But yeah, just to come and have fun and be prepared when you come to get a little card with the schedule on it that on the back has a set of ocean-friendly actions that anybody can do every day. And you can find them up around the festival at booths like Emily's and Ken's to find out more about them.
Outstanding. I love that. Okay. All right. So, promise you got to come back next year, and so we'll check in and see how this went. And I just want to say thank you, Rosemary. Thank you. It doesn't seem adequate enough for somebody like yourself that has so much on her plate to go, oh, and by the way, I think it's time for an Ocean Fest here in Tacoma. So thank you for that. And then thank you for reaching out to these two lovelies and you guys saying yes to be partners and to spread the word and also to help her with this beautiful opportunity. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Well, that wraps up another great segment of CityLine. It's always a pleasure and a privilege to be in your home. We've given you a lot of great things to think about in this past hour, so go out there, be a part of the tapestry, and above all, pay it forward. And when you come back, as always, we'll be waiting for you right here at CityLine. Take care.